casting 1st October 1997. But of course, before then, like a few months before then, we were already recruited. We came in to do, how should I say, to work, to generally, do what we had to do. So before we actually started on 1st October, I had been here for, let's say, a couple of months. I had been employed. I had to go through so many auditions and so many interviews, maybe about 5 or 6. And they wanted to take me on as a newscaster. But of course, I also have a journalism background. So then I was a broadcast journalist as well and a newscaster. And I remember being called in for interview after interview, audition after audition. I was thinking, wow, am I going to make this? Well, I might as well try. And there were so many of us, so many waiting for interviews and auditions. And I remember one particular person, Van Vicker. He was in the same group with me. So we sort of like, when we see each other now, we talk about it and we laugh, And eventually I made it through, and I was actually employed in the newsroom as a broadcast journalist.
Okay.
So even though I did do, like I went through GIJ, I did do practical training in media houses, I did GNA, Ghanaian Times, Mirror, even I was even GTV and all that. I had always wanted to work for radio, although I'd never had gone to radio before, but I thought radio had this kind of mystique about it, was mysterious, it would be interesting, So I never actually thought I'd be in TV, but I did get the job. So I thought, okay, hey, let me see what I can do with this one.
do you remember the first day reading the news? Do you remember the very
How can I forget that first day?
What happened?
I was built to read the news on that first day when we did the first broadcast, but Amadadi, she did the first news bulletin, which was at 6:30, and I did the late one, which was about 10 or 10:30 then. And I remember standing in the studio watching Amma do the first bulletin, and she was so confident, and she was flowing, and she was, getting everything right. And I thought, oh my God, would I be able to do this at all? So of course, it was my turn. I was so nervous. I was almost shaking. And I said to myself, hang on, people are watching you at home, but, you can't actually see them. But they can see you. You have the cameraman there, you have, the director giving you instructions in your ear and all that. And I said, okay, deep breath, relax. And that's how I always relax on air.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's a little surprise. We want to see if we can go a little way back. So let's watch this.
No.
Good evening and welcome to TV3 Evening News. In the headlines tonight, the Volta River Authority has urged electricity consumers to conserve power, and the Israeli Security Cabinet has met in Jerusalem to discuss implications of assassination attempt in Jordan. I am Emma Morrison. The Volta River Authority, VRA, has called on consumers to use electricity wisely to avoid paying high bills. The Director of Organizational Services of the VRA, Mr. Michael Addo, said there is a lot of wastage in the system, and if the trend continued, a period of power shedding, as in 1994, would be enforced. Mr. Addo and other officials of the authority were briefing a group of chief executives of state-owned enterprises who were on a study tour of the Akosombo power plant. Mr. Addo explained that apart from the current low water level of 246 feet, operational costs have increased due to the falling value of the cedi. He said about 90% of VRA inputs are imported.
And today is the 3rd of October.
Yeah. So today is the 3rd of October. This was still in October.
This was the 5th of October.
Okay.
So we started transmission 1st of October. And I think this must have been my second time I had read, second or third time. So
watching yourself, I mean, not much has changed if you asked me, but...
Oh, really?
When was the last time you saw this?
This particular one? Initially, we were always like, after we read, because about an event that was going on and all that kind of stuff, I spoke to her, and I like to do that. I take advantage and speak to people all the time and say, hey, what's up, what are you doing, what have you done, so what do you think of this, or what do you think of that, and it's also a way for me to assess them, really. They may not know, but, so she walked in and all that, and after I spoke to her for some time and all that, I said, okay, that was good. And I said to myself, wow, she would be a very good presenter, you know, and I will still get in touch with her.
Yeah. News and sports here at TV3, Miss Emma Morrison. Emma, what's next for you in terms of, I mean, you still being in the media, but what's up next? In the next, say, 5 years, what would we see you do differently?
As in TV3 News?
TV3
or as
News
in me,
or
as a person?
As in you, yes.
As in me?
Both.
Both.
I don't think we can separate the two.
Oh, you know, there's so many things I want to do.